webcam. Focus. I don't know why my webcam is being so blurry. Hello. There we go. Okay, I think that's better maybe. Oh wow, let me fix my makeup. Hey guys. Oh, here, let me get my mic. Is that better? Are we doing it? I'm so happy to be back, you guys. I haven't seen you in so long. What is everybody up to? This is the first time I think it's the first time I've taken a week off of coaching in I can't remember when. I would say at least a year. Is that true? Do you guys remember? The last time I remember taking like time off, like an actual week off coaching, was when I went to Tennessee during COVID, which was like 2020, July of 2020. Is that right? You guys know we coach holidays. Like I coach through Christmas, I coach through Thanksgiving, I coach through, I never miss coaching. So, big week around here. Hey, I'm so happy I'm feeling better too, Alyssa. Yeah, don't get COVID. That's my advice. It sucked. It was pretty brutal. But I do have all three of the vaccines. And I think because of that, I was able to get over it pretty quickly. So I got basically really sick for like 2 days and then I started getting better. So that's that. That's on that. Hey, Sarah, how are you guys? Did you guys watch the bonus modules yet? I saw a couple people posting about that. So since I missed coaching on Tuesday, you guys know I have to do something for you, right? So as if you don't have enough like material in here already. We gave you guys 2 extra bonus modules that are usually in my Business Breakthroughs Academy course, which that course is like, it's gold. It's so good. The only reason I don't sell it is just because I love the mastermind so much. I don't have a ton of time to sell it. I don't want to be launching all the time. And we already launched the mastermind so much that I haven't really been selling it. But I was like, damn, the content in there is so good. Let me give them some bonus modules. So it's only for a week because that's part of my, other paid content I have. And this week you guys get the Content Crush module, which is about how to make great content and how to make content consistently that people are going to like, that's going to create customers, and the Money Mindset module, which people love that module. You guys saw, I saw a couple people post in here about it, but the Money Mindset module in the Business Breakthroughs course, I know a lot of you guys have it, but go through it again. Like, it's good. Like, every time you go through it, you will get something out of it. There's something really special about that content in that course. It's some of my favorite stuff I've ever made is in that course. And so I hope you guys will listen to it. If you don't have time, don't use it against yourself. Yeah, I started watching the Money Mindset module last night. So good. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad, Sarah. Yeah. The Money Mindset module is sick. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Mary Beth. Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's like my favorite. It's some of my best stuff. So that is that for you guys, since we didn't get to do Tuesday call. Yeah, my money mindset needs a refresher. Yeah, isn't that the truth, Taylor? All right, let me look at these questions. There's a couple questions in here. I'm excited. Let's see what you guys are up to. So Victoria says, I started watching the one on content creation and it's awesome, loving it. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are liking them. Good. Okay, well, I think that worked out great then. So you guys got stuff you needed. I got to sleep, which I needed on Tuesday. Everybody gets what they need. All right. Victoria says, working on my 90-day goal and I am stuck. Well, Victoria, I'm wondering if you put this in here. I was talking to Victoria. Victoria's new. Let's all say hi, Victoria. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. I believe it was you that I was talking to that is new and I was saying do the mindset module. You guys know what I'm gonna say. So working on my 90-day goal and I am stuck. The thought I am stuck creates what result? You guys tell me who's had this thought. They're kind of in the same family of like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. How do I figure out, should I do this? Should I do that? I made a podcast episode about this that's going live today. It's a little bit like slower, lower energy podcast because I made it while I was sick, but there's some really good stuff in there. So definitely listen to today's podcast if you struggle with this. But the thought I am stuck creates the result of you not knowing what to do and being slow, and things taking a long time. So just so you guys know, if anybody's having that thought, right? So I would, first of all, I would coach yourself on that thought, like I'm stuck. A very unuseful thing to think. My goal is to start earning $5,000 a month, but that implies working on a whole lot of things, selling something products, social media visibility, emailing my list, Facebook ads. Am I framing the goal correctly? Yeah, you need to constrain down. So I'm sure you already did this, but watch the success modules. This is what you need. You want to keep things simple. So a lot of times our brain will offer us all this stuff like, I need to do Facebook ads, I need to do this, we got to do Instagram, we got to do TikTok. Who has these kinds of thoughts? That's like, and I just coached on this last night in the inner circle. I have spots opening in the inner circle also, and I'm going to email them to the rest of the list tomorrow. So if you guys are in here and you want to do small group coaching with me, send us an email and we can send you the details. Because I have a couple spots opening in that group, and I'm going to email it to the rest of the group, the rest of the list tomorrow, and they will probably sell. So I think one of them might even already be gone. So that's that. But the inner circle is great. Anyway, I was coaching on this in the inner circle last night. My brain is like squirrels today. But we were talking about a lot of times when we think, I want more results, our brain goes to this place of, let me do a whole bunch more shit, right? Whose brain does that? You're like, I want to make more money. I want to grow faster. I want more results. Let me just do more tasks, right? And we're kind of taught in our culture, if you want to get more results, you just do more tasks. But in entrepreneurship, that is not necessarily the way to go. You really want to be looking for leverage points. You really want to be looking at, how can I do less work and have more impact, right? Much more useful question. So right now, I think you're kind of going, I want to make more money. I need to do all of this shit. And that's kind of more like a traditional student employee kind of mindset, right? That's literally how you guys are taught. It's like, if you want more success, you just do more tasks. You just do more shit, right? Entrepreneurship really doesn't work like that. You really want to be looking for leverage. Like, how can I impact more people and work less? How can I make more money and do less things? Like, constraint as an entrepreneur will create more success for you guys than spreading yourself thin, running around doing all of the things, doing a bunch of shit because you feel like you need to do more shit to create more results. Like, that's where people get spread out. It's where they end up working a lot and creating very little results because they end up being spread really thin, right? So even for me, like, I have a team. We're doing multiple six figures. We're on track to do 300 this year, or close to it, if not. And I'm not doing all of the things. We do 2 bundles a year. I have 1 offer I sell. I do 1 podcast and send 1 email a week. I'm not like going around like, if I want to make more money, I don't go, let me just add more shit. Right? I go, how can I make the things that I'm doing more powerful? How can I be more impactful with what I'm putting out now? Like, how can I convert more of the people we already have, right? Like, how can I impact more of the people that are listening to the podcast? Like, I spend time thinking about those things. And the quality of what I end up creating is better, I think, than if I were like, let me do Instagram, let me do Facebook Live, let me do this, let me do that, let me do this thing, let me do a summit, let me do a bundle, let me do a launch, let me do a TikTok, let me do Instagram, right? That's it, right? I'm not doing all of the things. I'm constrained in what I'm doing so that I can focus on the quality and the impact that I have. So you just want to make sure you're kind of focusing on where are the leverage points. Now, for you guys that are starting, this is why I'm saying like go through those success plan modules. You need a way for people to find you. You need an offer to sell, right? And you need a way to nurture people. You need those three things, but you don't have to build all of them right this second. And a lot of times when we go to the hustle where we're like, I need this to happen as fast as possible, and I need to be doing all of the things, and I need to like really push myself and get that $5,000 in the bank account like yesterday. When we get in that type of energy is where you guys do weird shit. This is where someone will come on a call and they'll be like, oh, I decided to start a second business, and I'm doing a side hustle, and I'm doing a launch, and I've been doing 100 TikToks a day, and I'm like, what? Like, what are you trying to do? Like, what is your goal? Right? And it's like all of a sudden, it's like we just start grabbing strategies and grabbing shit, trying to create more results because we're like, oh, I'll just do more stuff to create more results. And there's a real lack of constraint in that. And we're real, like, this is where people start to feel like spread really thin, right? This is where people start to feel burned out. It creates a lot of results you don't like secondary results that are not desirable. Does this make sense to you guys, like what I'm saying? I'll tell you guys want a behind the scenes secret sneak peek. We're gonna do another round of Reignite. It's gonna be like a smaller version of what we did because it's gonna be free for the community. So the last round we did was paid. It was 2 weeks. It was a ton of work, honestly, for me, and a ton of coaching and a ton of stuff. But we're just it's gonna be simple, but we're gonna go through those 3 modules again, which are excellent. And Reignite is really about creating more results, doing less, right? So it's like, if you take doing more shit off the table, you're not going to do any more stuff than what you're doing right now. You're only going to do what you're doing right now. And you wanted to create more results and more impact. What would you need to focus on? Like, how would you need to think? Right? And so what I like to do with you guys, and what I think is really interesting in my own business and in my own life, is like, instead of just adding more hours, this would be very easy for me to do, right? Because I only work 20 hours a week. So it would be really easy for me to be like, you know what? I'm gonna create more results. I'm gonna work 30 hours a week, right? I'm gonna add more hours. I'm gonna just do more stuff. But I think it's kind of lazy thinking, right? But if I really stick to that, it makes me think at a higher level, right? Where it's like, I'm only going to work 20 hours a week. How do I make those 20 hours the highest quality work that I can? And because I've been doing that for the last year and a half, really constraining down, I'm not going to do more things. I'm not going to work more hours. I'm not going to be on more platforms. I'm not doing any of that. I take all of that off the table. And then it's like, who would I have to be to have more impact, reach more people, and make more money with the work I'm doing now without adding anything else? And do you guys see how that constraint, it forces me to up-level as a leader? It forces my thinking to kind of go to the next level. It forces my content to get better. Whereas like, if I just kept adding hours and adding more things, I could have stayed stagnant, I think, in my personal growth for a lot longer. And I think the reason that we're seeing the kind of growth that we're seeing, right? I mean, went from 100,000 to 200,000 to 300,000 each year, right? So that's pretty significant year over year growth. Like 100,000 to 200,000 is double. Like, that's kind of unheard of in business. Like, that's a big year, right? The reason I think we're seeing that type of growth is because I'm constrained, because I'm really forcing myself and my work to be better, because I don't allow myself to just add more shit. I don't allow myself to just like go do more stuff, go be on more platforms, go work more hours. It's like the hours are the same. The things that we're doing are the same. how do I make it better, right? And it forces me to become a better leader. It forces my thinking to go to the next level. It forces our content to get better. Whereas I think I could have really stagnated myself by just adding more hours and adding more stuff, and allowing myself to stay at the level I am and to be the leader I am right now and to have the type of thinking I have right now and just adding more things and doing more work. Does this make sense to you guys? So it's the constraint, I think, that really created the up level and that momentum that we're seeing in the business now, which constraint is not easy for me. Like, I want to do all the things all the time. It's really uncomfortable, right? It sounds like sexy and fun, I think, for people to be like, oh, I only work 20 hours a week. People are like, oh, that sounds like sexy and fun. It's not fun. It's hard. It's like very hard for me to get my shit done in 20 hours a week, right? It requires a lot more focus, right, than most people have when they work. It requires a lot more focus than I have naturally, right? It requires me to become someone that can come in this office and get shit done and not fuck around and not indulge in confusion and indecision. It requires me to work at a higher level, right, than is comfortable for me. Like, you know, that kind of constraint, it kind of looks sexy, I think, to the outside, but it actually, for me personally, creates a lot of feelings of discomfort, right? Because I have 1,000 ideas. I want to execute all of them. I want to do all of the things all of the time. I have kind of unlimited creative ideas and energy for the business, right? So it's like constraint. So all of this to say, Victoria, like, I think you're kind of in this mindset of like, I want to create $5,000. I have to do a billion things. And that's kind of, for like lack of a better way of explaining it, it's kind of lazy thinking. So if we go to like the next level of thinking of like, if you're going to keep your hours within your working hours and you're only going to do a certain amount, right? And you're only going to do a couple things, right? You need to pick one way of getting leads, one way of lead gen. If you're only going to do one way of lead gen, how do you get really good at that? That's a better question. Do you guys see what I'm saying? You get what I'm throwing down? I'm totally the shiny object syndrome person. Yeah, me too, Sarah. My brain's like, what about this? What about this? So-and-so's doing that. This is the thing too with like, you know, I joined that mastermind this year, which is awesome. But it requires a lot of sitting in discomfort because I see people doing strategies where I'm like, oh, maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do this. Maybe. And it requires me to be like, no, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and exercise constraint. And it's uncomfortable to not just be chasing the shiny things. Like, that kind of feels fun. It kind of feels good to just kind of be like, oh, let's do this. Oh, let's do this. And to do a lot of dabbling. Like, a lot of dabbling feels good to a lot of us, I think. Like, that's fun to me. I'm like, oh, let's try this strategy and let's do this and let's do a little of this and let's do a little of that. Like, that's exciting to me. It's like new and it's fun and it's like, you know, it doesn't require me to do the deeper level of work that sticking to that 20-hour a week, not changing our fucking strategy. I have not changed our sales strategy all year, right? All year. We do the exact same launch. We do the exact same schedule. I keep doing the exact same thing and just getting better and better and better at what I'm doing, right? And that kind of deeper work for me is a lot more, it's more uncomfortable, right? It requires like kind of that higher level, deeper thinking than if I were just doing all the surface level dabbling and all of the shiny object stuff. Like, that feels fun and good, right? That's what I think people don't get about, you know, the reason I think the 20-hour a week work thing has been so impactful for me is because it forces me to do that deep work. It forces me to be constrained. It forces me not to dabble. It forces me not to go after the shiny object stuff. And it forces me to be someone who can sit in the discomfort of all of that, right? And be okay. Does that make sense to you guys? Let me make sure I'm answering this question. So to answer all of this, like, I would really challenge yourself to just constrain, pick like one strategy for lead gen, one thing you're gonna sell, put a launch on your calendar, and then that's it. Like, you don't change your plan. We don't go dabbling around with the shiny object stuff. When we make changes in the business, they're thoughtful and strategic. That's the other thing that constraint does, right? Because I'm not dabbling and I'm not chasing shiny object things and I'm not trying to do all the things and all the strategies I see everybody else doing. When I do make a pivot, it's thoughtful, it's strategic, right? And it's not impulsive or just a decision because I think it sounds fun. Like, that's not why I make business decisions. Does this make sense to you guys? Yeah, when I'm trying to focus on one thing, my brain is like, what if this doesn't work? Maybe also try something else. Yeah, you can do that if you want, but I'll tell you, like, I like to make business decisions, like, I like to make business decisions. I don't like to make business decisions out of fear, right? So I'm like, well, if it doesn't work, I'll just keep doing it until I get it to work. Like, right? And I think you guys will get better results from that, because if you only have one lead gen strategy and you're not dabbling in all this other bullshit, it's like you're gonna have to figure out how to get that to work, right? So does this make sense? It's kind of like when you guys give yourselves like too many things, it's like you don't really have to get serious about any of it, right? So if I'm like, I'm gonna do TikTok, but in case TikTok doesn't work, I'm also gonna do Instagram, and I'm also gonna do a summit, and I'm gonna do a bundle, and I'll do this other stuff. And then it's like, I don't really actually have to commit to actually getting TikTok to work then, right? It's kind of like you'll figure out how to do it when you decide to do it. All of it works. Like, you can get any lead gen strategy you want to work. It's just deciding to commit to it and deciding you're going to stick to it until you get it to work, right? And the energy of like, TikTok is my lead gen. I'm going to make this work. No matter fucking what, I'm going all in on TikTok. That's it. That might be uncomfortable and bring up this fear of like, what if it doesn't work? But it also might really get you in that place of being committed to that platform. Whereas if you're doing TikTok and Instagram and this other, and you're like, well, let me see if any of it works. I don't know. Like, I'm going to try. I'll just see. It's like, who do you think is going to get it to work? Right? Like, the person that is like, I am going to get TikTok to work. This is my lead gen strategy, period, the end. That person's going to get different results than the dabbler. That's just what I see. Like, and I see a lot of people with a lot of businesses. I mean, there might be exceptions to that. You know, I'm always like, the stuff I'm telling you guys are like generally what I see in people. It doesn't mean that no one can get that to work. But I want to tell you guys like what I see working for the most people. Does that make sense? Yeah, mind blown. Commit and make it work. I know this, but when Faith talks, I really understand. Oh, good, Christy. I feel like I don't know if I'm making sense right now because, you know, my brain is I'm still congested, and it's hard for me to like, sometimes it's hard for me to connect my thoughts to my mouth. So I'm glad that it's making sense to you. Yeah, but Victoria, I hope this helps you. But I would say, you know, really think about the result you want is $5,000 a month. How many things do you need to sell, right? What are you selling? At what price point? How many do you need to sell? You put your brain to work only thinking about creating those sales. So this is the other like little mindset trick I'll give you guys about this. This is what I'm realizing, what I'm seeing a lot of people do is they're like, okay, $5,000 a month. I need to make this many sales. Well, if I had more email subscribers, I'd probably get more sales. So let me work on getting email subscribers. And if I had more Instagram followers, I'd probably get more sales. So let me work on getting Instagram subscribers. But like, more Instagram subscribers and more email subscribers don't necessarily equal more sales if you are not focusing on sales. So what people do is they kind of will use these other weird little metrics and side projects so that they don't have to pitch because they think it's uncomfortable. They don't like doing sales. They feel weird about taking money. They feel like people might not like them. People might not like my product. People might not like my stuff. Let me go focus on getting email subscribers. And it's like, you really have to always be focused on sales. So am I growing our email list? Yes. But what do you guys think I'm more focused on? More email subscribers and open rates and followers, or sales? I'm always really only looking at the bottom line. That's it. So if you're gonna like go and like grow a platform, that's fine. But But the energy of being focused on making sales while you grow a platform versus kind of like dropping the sales piece and just going and like dabbling on these platforms and getting followers and thinking like, oh, but when I have more followers, then that will make it easier to make sales, right? That doesn't end up putting money in your pocket for a long time. And I see that happen with people a lot. Yeah, I'm struggling to make it because I don't own the platform. I'm afraid I will invest the time and then the algorithm will fall apart. Yeah, it might, but I'll tell you, Sarah, here's something. I'm just going to say this because I don't know like a nicer way to say it right now. But here's what I'll say. Anytime you guys have the thought, like, I don't want to waste my time, you create the result of you wasting your time. Like, really think about that. Anytime you guys have the thought, like, I don't want to commit to this because I don't want to waste my time, what do you do and how do you show up on that platform? You show up uncommitted and half-assed and inconsistently, right? And maybe like the content's maybe not as good and it's all just kind of like half-assed, right? And it creates the result of you wasting your own time. And that's the whole thing, right? Because that thought, I don't want to waste my time, keeps you from showing up in the energy of commitment. And when you show up in the energy of not committed, you usually don't get the result you want. You usually create the result of you wasting your time. Does that make sense to you guys? So it's you just have to be careful of that because it seems so smart, right? It seems like we're being so thoughtful. We're like, well, I don't want to waste my time. People do this with this is what the podcast is about today, but people do this a lot where it's like, I got to make sure I do things in the right order because I don't want to waste my time. And then that creates the result of them second guessing themselves, spending a lot of time thinking about what to do. Should I do this? Should I do that? Debating what to do next, being unsure, remaking decisions. And it creates the result of them being slow. And so this thought that like seems so well-intentioned of like, I want to do everything in the right order and not waste my time. Like, I don't own that platform. I don't want to commit to it and waste my time. Like, those thoughts seem so innocent and helpful, but if you play them out of how do you show up when you're thinking that, and what result does that create, and is that a result you want to keep? Most of the time it's not. Most of the time the result it creates is being slow and wasting your own time, which is so interesting. And we just do that as people, right? It's just like, you know, if you're doing that, it's not because you're wrong or anything. It's just, that's just what our brains do. But I would say, like, if you're gonna here's what I'll say. You guys ready? I just don't have, like, the ability to sugarcoat things for you guys right now, right? Because I'm, like, tired and sick. But here's what I'll say. If you're gonna fuck with a platform, fuck with it heavy. So, like, if you're gonna post on TikTok, like, do it. Or, like, don't. But don't be like, well, like, I'm kind of gonna do it, but, like, I don't know. And, like, well, I'll kind of do Instagram, but I don't know. It's like, just pick one and commit to doing it. And, like, it's not gonna work forever. Like, this is what I always tell you guys. I'm like, that TikTok window, that Instagram Reels window is gonna close. Right? So here's a good example. I built my Facebook group, right? So the Blogging Breakthroughs Facebook group used to make me a lot of money. Like, it was like, the conversion rates on it were totally bananas. It didn't have that many people in it, but we made a lot of money, especially compared to what I was selling and the amount of people in there. Like, it just converted like gangbusters for us for like the first year, right? It was insane. And now it doesn't. It makes us like no money. But I don't go and I spend no time thinking like, oh my God, I wasted all this time building this Facebook group and like I spent all this time building it and there's thousands of people I put in there and now it doesn't even make us any money and I spent all those years like doing those videos and I spent all this time like doing the thing. I spend no fucking time thinking about that. I only focus on like what is working now. And this is the thing is like all of it is time limited. So what is working for you guys right now will not work 3 months from now. Will not work 6 months from now. For sure as shit won't work a year from now. That's just the game we're in. If you're trying to get free organic traffic, the algorithm is going to change. It's not going to last forever. what you're doing won't work forever. You have no guarantee that you're gonna get in front of those people for free. And none of that means it's not worth doing. So it's like you can either play that game and manage your brain about it, or you can pay for ads. That's the options, right? And so you just want to be aware of that. But I think like thinking about how you don't like how it is, thinking about how you don't like that the algorithms change, thinking about how things used to be. People do this all the time on Pinterest. They're like, it used to be so great. I used to get all these page views. Like thinking about how things used to be, wanting the platforms to be different, wanting them not to change is a waste of your time. It's just how we talk about like when you argue with reality, you create suffering for you. You don't create suffering for Pinterest. You create suffering for yourself. Like when you want things to be different than how they are, you create suffering for you. And a lot of people do this with algorithms and platforms and wanting Facebook to be different, wanting Facebook groups to be how they were, and wanting Pinterest to be how it was. And like, you know, every time people have the algorithm like switch, everybody freaks out. And I'll just tell you guys, like, my thought my thought about it, you guys can borrow this. My thought about it has been like good. Like, I fucking hope it's hard. Like, I hope it's harder. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's just like, I will always figure it out. I'm going to keep going. I'm never going to give up. And I'm still going to motherfucking be here. Doesn't matter how many times the algorithms change. Doesn't matter how many times I have to change my strategy. Doesn't matter how many times I have to start over from nothing. Doesn't matter to me. I will fucking figure that shit out. And like, I don't care. And right? And so I'm like, good. I hope it's hard. I'm like, I hope it's harder. How about that? So like when I see everybody start freaking out because the algorithm is changing, I'm just like, that sucks for them, right? But I always figure shit out, so it doesn't matter to me, right? That's just my thoughts about it, because that's the kind of attitude you have to have when you're in this game if you're going to exist in this space where you're going after free organic traffic. You have to be aware it's always changing. You're always going to have to adapt. The things that you're doing now will not work for very long. It can change overnight. It can all go away. And like none of that's a problem. I just don't make any of it a problem. I'm like, I always figure shit out. We will always innovate a new way. Right now, we're getting leads from the bundles and the summits. That's not going to work forever. This might be the last year it works. I don't know. But I'll just find a different way to get leads. I'm always like, oh, well, there's lots of ways to get customers. Like, if that stops working, I'll just get a different way of getting customers. Like, I don't make it a problem that it's time limited. Does that make sense? I'm still gonna motherfucking be here too. Yeah, right? So when I see people whining on Facebook, I'm like, good. Like, I'm like, I hope it's harder, right? I hope it's fucking harder. Right? Because I'm like, it's less competition for me. I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to give up. I'll always figure it out. And the harder it is to get in this game, then the less competition for me. So I'm like, good. Like, I hope it's hard. Like, that's kind of my attitude and what my attitude has always been about it. And it served me really well. So if you guys want to borrow that, you can. Or if there's something that resonates more, like, I love like that energy of like, I'm a fighter, right? So that really resonates with me, but you might be able to find something else that resonates more with you. But I'm like, you know? Okay, let me know if you guys need more about that. Yeah, I always figure it out. Exactly, Arissa. It's like, I always figure it out. It's not a problem. It's not a problem that it changes all the time. Not a problem that I always have to be innovating different strategies. Not a problem. Not a problem. Like, I expect it, right? I expect it. Here's something I've been thinking about a lot that I haven't totally formulated yet, but I'll share with you guys. I think one of the biggest errors I see a lot with entrepreneurs is it's almost like they expect it to be easy, or they expect it to be easier than it is. And I always just expect that it's gonna be hard, that I'm gonna suck at it, that things are gonna be difficult, that algorithms are gonna change, that the first time I do things, I'm going to suck at it and be bad. Like, I just expect it to be difficult. And so then if it like doesn't go the way I want, it's not really a problem because I kind of expected it to be that way almost. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, I don't know. Not like I expect it to not work, but I think that there's something about like expecting that you're just gonna start a business and all of it's gonna work that really does people a disservice, right? And so I've been thinking about how to talk about that and teach that more. Okay, I'm only on one question. Jesus, let me go to the next one. I'm struggling with thoughts like people will be disappointed in my program. Yeah, who else has this? Who else has these thoughts? Like people will be disappointed about my program. People won't get results. People will think this is a waste of money. I know my higher self is a leader. Help. Yeah, I got you. Um, Here's what I'll say about being a leader. So I think probably what your brain is doing, like first of all, I don't think it's a problem that you have these thoughts, right? I think it's totally normal and I think it's totally fine. It doesn't mean anything about your ability to be a leader. And like I would really say like, yeah, like I would even agree with that. I would just be like, yeah, people will be disappointed in your program. There will be people that won't get results. There are people that pay for this mastermind that have been in here for years that have not gotten any results. Why? Because they don't use it. It's like they don't fucking come to the calls. They don't watch anything. They don't do anything in here, right? Paying for the mastermind, paying me and being in the program does not get them results. So there's people in here that won't get results. The bigger this program grows, the more that will be true. The more there will be more people in here that don't get results. There will be more people in here that are disappointed. People come in here and like sometimes people come in here and they think like they've listened to me and they've like thought about being in the mastermind for a long time and they've like really romanticized it, and then they come in here and I kind of hand them their ass and they're like, whoa, like this is not what I thought was gonna happen. Like I thought I was gonna finally join and like the gates of opportunity were gonna open up and like money was gonna rain down on my face and like and that's not the experience they have in here, and they're disappointed about that, right? There's people that come in here that don't get results. They're disappointed about that, right? And then they come on a coaching call with me and I'm not even nice to them about it necessarily all the time, right? And then people think this is a waste of money. Yeah, like people might think it's a waste of money to be here, but why is that a problem? Like, what do you make that mean? So here's if I were coaching you, what I would be curious about is so what? Like, so what? Like, why is it a problem to you if people think your program is a waste of money? If they're disappointed, if they come in and they don't like it, right? And here's what I know about being a leader. Like, being called to be a leader for real is not a fucking fun, easy job, right? It's not. I take it really seriously. Like, when I say, like, I'm called to be a revolutionary leader, that means something to me. And I'm aware that that is not always a fun job to have, right? It requires me to say things to you guys, sometimes on Zoom, sometimes on these lives, sometimes on the podcast that people don't fucking like, that people don't want to hear, that are hard for me to say and deliver, that are hard for you guys to receive. It requires me to say opinions that are not fucking popular. It requires me to speak publicly about women and money, which people don't fucking like, right? It requires me to be not liked all the time. Like, it's not like being an actual leader for real is not the same as being a marketer or being someone that's just like selling somebody like, oh, 10K months, laptops on the beach, it's all so fun, right? It's like my work is more meaningful than that. And I think most of your guys' work is more meaningful than that. And being a leader for real, it means that you have to have a tolerance for being disliked. And this is how I deal with it. I just think like, what do I care about more? What do I care about more? Do I care more about people really liking me and saying I'm really nice and saying really great things about me? Or do I care about like having an impactful life? And having an impactful life is not fucking fun all the time. It does not, I'm telling you right now, like there's a lot of people that don't like me on the internet that don't like me at all, right? It's like I trigger people. I say things people think are inappropriate. I swear. There's lots of things people don't like about me, right? And so being a leader, it kind of requires you to be kind of in the line of fire of people a little bit and be in a line of like, people project their shit onto me is really what I think it is. right? It's like I talk about money, they don't like that you talk about money, but it's really like them projecting their insecurities, right, onto me and trying to control me and trying to get me to act a certain way. And I won't do that. So I would really challenge you and like, why is that a problem for you if people don't like your program? If people don't like your stuff? If people don't like you personally? Like, why is that a problem? What does that mean? And then can you ground yourself in some safety? And the way I kind of do it is it's like, I've got me. It's like Faith has got faith. Like, right? It's like if everybody in here all of a sudden decided that this mastermind was garbage and everybody hated it, and I started getting tons of mean comments again on the internet or like whatever happened, right? It's like, I still think my work is good. I still think it's good. I thought my work was good even when no one was buying this shit, right? Even when none of you guys were here. Like, I've been saying the same stuff on the internet. You can go all the way back. Like, I've been saying the same shit on the internet for 7 years, right? Even when no one was listening. There was like no one there. I was just like yelling into the void, saying the same shit I say now, right? And it's like, I still believed in that message. I still thought it was important. I still thought it needed to be said. I still thought that it was work worth doing to me. It still meant something to me, right? Even when no one was listening, even when no one liked it, even when no one was paying for it, I still thought it was important. Like, it mattered to me. It like means something to me. Does that make sense? So I think connecting to your work and why do you care about it? There's so much projection that happens when you're in online business. Yeah, everybody's just like, people even are just mad. Like, I don't even think it's like they don't like me personally. A lot of times it's like people are just having a bad day and then they see me on Instagram and they're like, well, how dare you? It's like, okay. But yeah, I think it's like, what do you care more about? It's like, do I want to be liked or do I want to be impactful? And to me, I've always been after that, like, impact piece has always been more important. Like, that's really what I'm after. And you need to be clear, right? And I don't need other people to like me because I like me. I like me, right? I know what I'm about. I know my intentions. I know how much I care about this stuff. And it's nice and great when other people see that. And if they don't, it's okay. Like, I still know it's good. I still know I mean well. I still know that I'm trying the best that I can, right? And then the other thing is, like, if you can have like a refund policy for people too, right? So we do like 2 weeks. We let people come in here for 2 weeks, and I'm like, if you don't like it, I'll just give you your money back. Like, it's fine. So you can always do like a refund policy if that kind of like eases your brain a little bit. What else was I gonna say? Let me know, is there any other part of this that you need, or is that kind of what you needed? But the thoughts, like, you can have those thoughts and like, what if they're not a problem? Like, I think it's really normal to have those thoughts. I think we've all had those thoughts, right? And so don't make it mean that like, just because you're thinking like people might be disappointed in my program or what if they don't like it. Don't make having those thoughts a problem. It just means you have a human brain. You don't even necessarily have to stop thinking them. It's just like, oh, that's interesting. My brain's offering me that. Let me like focus on something more useful. And then the other thing is like, you can answer that. Like, so the other thing that I do a lot with people on calls is I'll be like, let's really go there. Like, you guys have seen me do this with people a lot where I'll be like, let's say everyone buys your program and they're all disappointed. They all hate it. They hate it. They're like, not even just disappointed. They fucking hate it. And they all think you're a scammer. And like, just really take yourself to like the worst place of like, what if? And to me, it's like, I'm willing to live through that. I'm willing to have to refund every person if I have to. I'm willing to let every single person think I suck. I'm willing to have that negative experience. And you got to think about like, are you willing to risk it? Right? So really play out, what does that really look like if everyone's disappointed and they all like hate it and they all think it's a waste of money? Are you willing to risk that for the possibility of the best case? Because what's the best case? You change someone's fucking life with your work, right? You change someone's life. And what does that look like? And play that out. Like, what if you finally get someone to launch their business or write copy that they really care about, or they finally like get the nerve to like sell their product and they go on to have a 6-figure business and it changes their life and their kids' life forever, right? It's like, are you willing to risk the possibility of the worst case for the possibility of the best case? And a lot of people never make big moves in their life because they're just not willing to risk it, right? It's like, if you can't, I used to have this sign in my office that said like, it said life shrinks and expands in direct proportion to your willingness to assume risk, right? Your ability to assume risk. And I really believe that, right? And it's like, if you're not willing to risk people thinking you're full of shit, and you're not willing to risk people thinking your program sucks, if you're not willing to risk it, like, your life is not going to be very expansive. Like, your business is not going to be very expansive. Your business expands in like your ability to risk people not fucking liking you. It doesn't feel good. I'm not saying it's a fun time. Like, it's way more fun when everybody likes you. Right? I have a much better week when everybody's like, oh, like, we love the mastermind and I had this launch and this great thing happened. Like, I have a much better week when everybody's liking me than when everybody's shitting on me, for sure. And I'm willing to risk that, right? I'm willing to have as many bad weeks as it takes to get what I'm after, which is impacting a lot of people, making a lot of money, and doing something significant with my life that means something to me, right? Doing something with my time here, like, that's meaningful to me, spending my time in a meaningful way. I'm willing to risk letting people not fucking like me to have that experience. And I understand, like, if I'm unwilling to risk that, I will never get to have the other side of that, right? That's the thing, is like, people see, I think my business as it is now, and they don't understand, like, they want the business that I have right now, but they don't understand, like, I put my ass on the line for this business for years. I risked every fucking dollar I had. I risked people not liking me. I got fucking nasty emails for years of people just hating me all the time, right? And it was like, I always understood that in that discomfort, that's what would allow this life I have now to be possible. If I hadn't been willing to risk anything, if I hadn't been willing to risk the discomfort, I wouldn't get to have the life I have now. Does that make sense to you guys? So it's like, you have to be willing to risk people not liking you, which is scary to us, right? It feels like really, really scary. I understand that. But you've got to like stay in your body, like in your experience. It's really easy to get sucked into these like trauma places where you feel unsafe and you feel afraid. But just remember, like, you're in your body right now, in front of your computer, in your office. Ground yourself in some safety in your body. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I've got me. I'm always going to make sure I'm taken care of. I've got me. I'm always going to love myself no matter how much everybody fucking hates me on the internet. I love my work. No matter how many people hate it or are disappointed by it, I still really love it, right? And it's kind of like, I've got me. And I'm willing to risk it and put myself out there as many times as it takes and just be rejected as many times as it takes to have the experience I want in this life. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. Such a powerful exercise. I need to do that more often because I don't even play it out. Yeah, Arissa, this is really important. And I talk about this in coaching a lot. But our brain will do this like big scary question mark. It'll be like, what if nobody likes your program? Big scary question mark. And then it just sits there. And I'm always like, this is why when you guys see me coach people, I'll be like, you got to answer that, right? When people, you guys know that anytime you guys come on the call and you do like big scary question mark, I'm like, well, you got to answer that. What if no one buys, right? Usually the worst case scenario is you guys get the result you have right now, right? Because people will be like, oh, like, what if I launch it and everybody hates it and no one buys? And it's like, well, you have the result you have right now, which is no one buying your product. I'm willing to be rejected as many times as it takes. Yeah, right? When you're just like, you know what? Like, I'm just willing to be unliked. There's also something about, this is what I'll say too, Mary Beth, is there's something about just being willing to be disliked and just being willing to be rejected, because then I'm not trying to manipulate you guys into liking me, right? So when I think that we over deliver in this program, that we give you guys way more than you paid for. But I'm not doing that to try to get you guys to like me. I'm doing that because I want to, like, in my soul being. Like, I want to give you those extra modules. I want to give you guys free stuff. I want to give you guys, like, a good experience in here because I want to for me, not because I'm trying to manipulate everybody into liking me. And I think that energy in sales works a lot better. When you're like, this is my offer, I really like it, and I'm willing to let you have your own experience of it. And it's like, I don't need you to buy it and tell me it's great. Like, I don't need you to validate me. I don't need you to do anything. Like, I don't even need you to buy it for me to think it's good. I already think it's good. Like, there's something more clean, I think, about that energy as a leader, where it's like, this is what I think, and this is my work, and I stand behind it, and I think it's good. And you can think whatever you want about it. I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to tell me it's good. I don't need you to buy it. I don't need anything from anyone. So the energy, I think, is a lot cleaner, right? And I think a lot of times when we're trying to get people to like us and we want people to like our program so we can feel good, it can start to get a little manipulative-y. Do you guys see that? Where it's manipulative-y. That's not a word. It can start to be a little manipulative, right? Where it's like, you're wanting people to tell you it's really good, and you're putting extra things so people will like you more, and you're, trying to get people to act or do certain things. And I just think the more you can be certain of who you are and what you stand for, and you like your work without needing validation from anyone else, like, the cleaner it is with the selling and the marketing and all of it. And that actually, I think, is what what magnetizes people to me, right? Because I'm like, I already like my work. I already think it's good. I don't need you guys to validate me and tell me I'm good. Like, I validate myself. That's my job, right? How we always talk about don't outsource belief, right? Like, I don't outsource my belief in the mastermind to you guys. I believe in it. I believe it works. I think it's good. But I believed it worked before you guys were here, right? I believed it was good, like, and it was going to be special before it was special. Does that make sense? And so I think about this all the time, about, like, how I had this vision for the mastermind and what it was going to be like. And it's like, it, like, scares me sometimes, like, how it is now, because it's exactly what I just held this vision the whole time of what it was going to be. And I believed that it was before it was here. Does that make sense? It's like the belief came first. Like, I believed it was special, and I believed it was going to be transformative. And I believed the people that were going to come here were going to be really, really special, giving, amazing people, and that we were going to all have a great time together, and that people were going to have really powerful transformations. And I believed that before there was evidence. The belief came first, right? And then I figured out how to do it, and we all created it together in a large part as a community. Kind of like when you're meeting new people and you're not trying to make them like you, you're just being you. That forms better friendships. Yeah, exactly. Right? It's like, I'm not trying to get people to validate me or like me. I'm just being me. And then I let you get to think whatever you want. Like, you can think I'm an asshole and I shouldn't be swearing and, like, whatever. All of that's fine with me. I really don't, like, try to make anybody think anything about me, because I know what I think about me. I just stay focused on what I think about me. I really try not to, here's another tip for you, Mary Beth. I really try not to experience my work through other people. And so what I used to do is I used to record content, or I would make a workshop, or I would make an email or a podcast, and I would, like, experience it through what I thought other people would think when they heard it. And I was, like, experiencing me and my work through other people, through what I imagined, like, they would think or they would feel. And now I really try to be in my own experience of me, not in other people's experience of me, right? And it was a really profound shift for me, where it was like, I stay in my business, my body, my brain, my experience. and I just let other people be in their body and their brain and their experience. And I don't try to like go into their experience or imagine myself in their experience at all. I just stay here. Okay. We can talk more about that too on a coaching call if you want. I feel I'm behind in life, like I'm the exact same place I was 2 years ago and things aren't moving forward. This makes me feel depressed and overwhelmed. Yeah, that's a pretty depressing thought. I wasted a month like this. Yeah. I know staying in this model isn't helping me, but this tea feels so true and I don't know how to get out of it. Well, stop trying to get out of it. And so here's what I'll say, Mayu, is like more than one thing can be true at the same time, right? And like sometimes you guys can know that things are just a thought, but trying to make them like go away, it's kind of like if I tell you guys all like, everybody, do not think about pink elephants. Don't think about pink elephants. Do not think about pink elephants. Like, what are you guys all thinking about? Right? It's like, don't think this, don't think this. Like, this is a bad thought. Don't think this thought. Does that make sense? Just let it be there. It's okay, right? And you can understand that that thought creates pain. But what I'll say is like, just give your brain something else to think about. So I always use that example of like, my brain always, every time I drive in my car, my brain is like, let's think about how we could die in a head-on collision. My brain is like, I'm driving my car every time. My brain is like, let's think about like some horrific accident that could happen at any moment, right? And it's true. I could die in a head-on collision. Someone could just swerve into my lane and hit my car. Like, that's true. But just because things are true doesn't mean it's helpful to focus on. So what is a more helpful thought for you to focus on that feels true, right? So here's a bridge thought I'll give you. This is like something I would do if I were you. I would be something like, even though things haven't moved forward in the last 2 years, you kind of throw your brain a bone. You're like, okay, brain, it's fine. Even though things haven't moved forward in the last 2 years, I still want to try and make something happen, right? And so that way you're not like arguing with like, you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to be arguing with those kind of thoughts because a lot of times it just puts more focus on them. Like I'm saying, like, don't think about pink elephants, don't think about pink elephants, don't think about pink elephants. And you're like, now all I can fucking think of is a pink elephant. Right? So it's okay for that thought to just hang out and you can just kind of tell your brain, look, brain, like even though nothing has changed in the last 2 years, I still want to try. I still want to see if I keep trying what happens, right? Even though nothing's happened in the last 2 years, I still want to see what happens if I keep trying, right? Because it's like you don't really want to give up, do you? I mean, you could just give up. But if you don't want to give up, it's like, I just want to see what happens. Like, it's like, okay, fine. Like nothing's happened in the last 2 years. You know, you can write out all of the things that have happened in the last 2 years and you can probably find a lot of evidence for that and that might be helpful. But my feeling is probably you've already done some of that work and your brain is just really, sometimes we just get stuck on a thought. It's just kind of stuck there. It's okay. Just let it keep it, right? Sometimes it's easier to let your brain like kind of keep that shitty thought that not like, I don't believe that nothing has really happened in 2 years. And I'm sure there's part of you that doesn't really either. Like things have definitely happened. Something had to have happened, right? Like things just don't stay the same for 2 years. It's just kind of impossible, I think, right? But you could just let your brain keep that thought and just be like, even though nothing's happened in the last 2 years, I still want to try. I don't want to give up yet. It's fine. Let me see. Kind of like when you're meeting new... Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Let me know what you think about that, Mayu. Oh, wow, I feel like the whole thing about living in your own experience would be so helpful for dating and relationships. Yeah, totally, Katie. I did this a lot when I was dating, for sure. It was just like, women especially are taught, especially in dating, are taught to like experience themselves through men. It's like everything you do is supposed to be calculated to make men like you because it's like our job to like contort ourselves and make people like us. So this is a lot different than what people are taught, right? But yeah, I did this a lot dating for sure. Yeah, of course not. When I'm trying to start doing something, I think of 1,000 things that I should do and then I start buffering again. Yeah, things happen. I'm just not where I would have wanted to be. Yeah, but what if that's not a problem? Here's something else I'll offer you, Maya. This might be like this might resonate with you and it might not. I don't know. But this is what I think. So a lot of times my brain always thinks over there is better, right? First of all, it's like if we had these results, we would just feel so much better. And first of all, like you just need to know that you wouldn't feel any different. So if you feel like you haven't made that much progress and you haven't made a lot of progress, you would feel like that even if you change the circumstance. So all your brain is trying to do, it's like, let's change our C. We're going to change, if our C was different, we wouldn't be thinking this and feeling this. But you know, because you know how shit works, that even if you change that C line, even if you change the circumstances in your life, your thoughts and feelings come with you. So your thought of like, we're not far enough along, you would have that thought no matter how much money you were making. You would have that thought no matter what else was different in your life, right? And so you just want to be careful about right now you're like really, really, really convinced and really wanting to change your life circumstances so you can feel better. But that's not where feelings come from. Feelings come from your thoughts, and you bring your same thoughts, your same painful thoughts you have now, you would be having no matter what the circumstances are in your life. I promise you. I've seen it happen with so many entrepreneurs where they're like, if I were making six figures, everything would be better. And it's like, you make six figures, you feel the exact same. So you just need to know, like, when you just need to know that that's just not true, right? That your brain is telling you something that's flawed. It's flawed thinking. It's just not the truth. Like, you wouldn't feel any better even if you had made progress. So then it's like, well, what does it even fucking matter anyway? Right? And it's like, the reason I'm saying that is because to get yourself to stop wanting over there so bad. It's like sometimes we romanticize changing circumstances in our life. Like we're like, oh, if I could just be over there and things could just be better and it would just be so much better over there and I just wouldn't feel like this at all and it would just be so much better. It's not better over there, right? The whole point of going over there is who you become on like the journey. It's like the journey is the whole point, because I can tell you guys right now, when you get those circumstances, you feel the exact fucking same you feel right now. So it's like you have to be in it for who you become in pursuit of the goal. Like getting the goal it really feels good for like all of 10 minutes, and then it's like, you know, it's very fleeting. Like actually like making yourself feel better by achieving is a very, very fleeting, temporary happiness, right? Where it's like you get it and you're like, oh my God, I feel so good for like half a day, right? And so you just have to know that about yourself, right? And my brain does this too. So I just have to know that my brain always thinks over there is better. And that if we had these different results or we had this different situation, that we would feel better. And I just have to be on to myself and know that that's just not fucking true, right? And I have to make myself feel better now. And if I can do that, then when I get over there, I'll have the skills of feeling better now. But if I don't have the skill of feeling better now, and I just keep trying to change the circumstance so I feel better, I'm just bringing my same shitty thoughts and my same shitty feelings into my new circumstance. This makes sense? And so you really want to be after like when I talk about that $1 million goal, I'm like, I have a sign in my office that says, I just won't stop until I hit 1 million, right? Till I make $1 million. And when I think about that goal, I know I'm going to feel the exact fucking same I feel right now when I make that $1 million. The reason I want to do it is like who I become in pursuit of it. Like, you know, changing your circumstances in life, whether that's money or time or relationship statuses or jobs, like changing any circumstance in your life is not easy, right? It requires you, most of us, to be more intentional, right? To be more focused, I'm really after who I become in pursuit. Like, who would I have to be? How would I have to show up? How would I have to think? How impactful would I have to be? Who would I have to be as a leader? Like, that's really the point of the goal to me, because I know getting over there isn't going to feel any better. Your brain's kind of over thereing you. It's like, over there's so much better. It's not. You just need to understand all of it's the exact same. And then from that place, it's like, well, what do I want to experience in my life knowing that there's no achievement that's actually going to make me feel any better, right? Because your feelings and experiences are all created here. And changing your circumstances will change your thoughts for like 10 minutes and you'll feel really good because you're having good thoughts, but that wears off so fast. Does this make sense to you guys? Yeah, my brain is really sure I want to move out and I should have done it by now. Um, yeah, you can want to do that, but like the whole like I should have done it by now, like what if you're just wrong about that? So here's like a little thing that I do that has helped me a lot, especially as someone that struggles with anxiety and depression, is this kind of idea of like radical acceptance, where it's like if you were supposed to have moved out, you would have done it by now. You were not supposed to move out by now, right? You might have thought that you were supposed to have moved out by now, but you were wrong. And you know how I know you were wrong? Because you didn't. And if you were supposed to have it, you would have it. You're not supposed to have it. You were never going to have it, right? So this is the other part of like radical acceptance that helps me, is like things aren't supposed to be different. When you think things are supposed to be different, you just create suffering, right? It's just like you can argue, it's just arguing with reality, and all it does is create discomfort and negative feeling for yourself in your own body. That's all it does, right? And so it's like if you were supposed to have moved out by now, you would have. It was never going to happen, right? It's like sometimes we think we have a vision, like especially if we think like maybe we think we're going to have kids by a certain age, or we think we're going to have a certain kind of job, or we think we're going to live in a certain kind of house or whatever, and then it doesn't go that way, and then we can create all this suffering around it. But it's like it was never going to be that. Like we had a vision for the future that was wrong. It was never going to happen. Like we were never going to get like married at that age, or work at that type of job, or move out by this time. Like we might have pictured that, right? And there might be some grief of like what you thought was going to happen and what actually happened. Like you might grieve like the loss of like what you thought was going to be, but you just want to understand that like it was never going to be that. All that was just you had a thought that was wrong. Like you thought you were going to be moved out or be in this other situation by this certain date, and you were wrong about that. It was never, ever going to be that. It was always going to be this way. This is how it was always going to fucking be, right? And it's like everything is the way it's supposed to be. And then here's another thing I think about too, is like sometimes we think like we know how things should be. We're like, I definitely like should have been married by now, or I definitely should have moved, I definitely should have gotten this job, or I definitely should have moved in this apartment. But you don't know, right? You just don't know. And so I just kind of live by this credence that like I don't know like what's best. I live in like my very limited perspective, right? So I always tell this story, but like last summer I wanted to get this condo. And it was like really big deal for me because I had like never had any money, and I finally had money to like move somewhere really nice, and I found this place I really wanted, and it was like I was just like, oh my gosh, I finally made it, I finally did it, everything's like so amazing, I can't believe this. And I didn't get the condo. They wouldn't rent it to me because I was self-employed. They were like they just wouldn't rent it to me. And I like even sent them like my accountant sent them all this stuff, and they just gave me like so much grief about my income and the money and like being self-employed. And so I didn't get the condo. And I was really disappointed about that. But then I thought, I was like, you know what? Like God might just be doing me a huge fucking favor. Like I think that this was the best thing for me, but what if it wasn't? Like what if I had a really bad neighbor, a really bad experience living there, or something bad happened while I was at the apartment? Or what if I don't know, the fucking condo got broken into or burned down, or like what if the landlord was shitty? Like there's a million things that I don't know. There's a million things that I don't know. And so it just feels better to me to just assume that things are working in my favor instead of working against me, right? And it's like I don't know that. It just feels better for me to think that like things are going my way. Even when I don't get the condo I want, things are still going my way because I'm being protected, right? And so you might have thought that you should have moved out by now, but maybe you were just wrong about that. Like maybe you were just wrong about all of it. And you might have thought that that might have been the best thing for you and the best thing for you to do, but you don't know that. There's no way for you to know that that's what would have been best for you. And I just think like things are how they are. It just feels better to believe that it's working the way it's supposed to instead of arguing with reality and feeling bad about it. Because at the end of the day, it's like it is how it is. I'm not getting the condo, right? It's like it doesn't do me any good to just sit around and think about how it should all be different and feel like really indignant about it all. Like all that does is create suffering for me, right? What feels better to me is just to feel like everything's going my way. Even when I don't get what I want, things are still going my way. Make sense to you guys? So you can borrow that if that feels aligned to you. Yeah. Posting my own lunchtime live. I'm glad you liked it, Misty. Um, Breakthrough. Changing your C line does not change your feelings. Yeah, that will save you a lot of time just right there, right? Yeah, who you become in pursuit of the goal, that's so powerful and so helpful for setting goals with that in mind. Oh, I'm glad, Katie. Yeah, because it's like I'm just aware that like I can make however much money, I'm gonna feel the exact same I feel right now, right? So I'm never like trying to make $1 million to feel more successful or to feel happy or to feel empowered. It's like I'm just doing it um, to see who I would have to become to be able to change a circumstance like that. That's a pretty radical change in circumstances. Yeah, this or something better. Exactly. It's like, I love this was one I used dating too. It was like rejection is protection, right? So sometimes when I was single and I would be dating, I would think like, oh my God, like this person is perfect. We're going to have this perfect relationship. And I was fucking wrong about that. But I was like, you know what? Like rejection is protection. I'm just going to choose to think like that is not the right person for me. And there's somebody better coming. Right. And it just felt better to me than to date and think, oh my God, like no one likes me and this person didn't like me. And like, why don't they like me? And we would be so great together and have a pity party feeling bad about it. Right. It was just like, oh, someone better is coming. Like the universe is keeping room for someone really great to come into my life. So just remember, you guys can always change how you see things, and that's really powerful, I think. Let me know if that helps. I'm losing my voice. Feel like I've been talking for an eternity. Do you guys need anything else? I'm gonna be on at 5 doing content review. So bring me if you have a sales page, if you want me to look at an email, if you want me to look at an opt-in or your website, I don't care. Anything you want me to look at. I mostly end up looking at your guys' sales pages, but if somebody has something else they want, you're welcome to bring it. And I will just look over as many people's things as I can in an hour. What else? If you guys want in the inner circle, I have a couple spots opening. Email us and we'll get you the details about that. So the inner circle, there's usually about 6 people in it at a time. I've capped it, I think, at like 10. But it's been less than that lately because I just really like having the small group. So if you're wanting to work with me in a small group, if you're wanting more support, if you're wanting to be really focused for the next few months, that would be a really good container for you to get in. What else? Yeah, come to my content review, watch the bonus modules. We did the money mindset module and the content crush module for you guys since I couldn't do the coaching on Tuesday. We put those up as a bonus. It's like a Faith COVID bonus. You guys like that? And that is it. The inner circle is amazing. Yeah, I'm glad you like it, Taylor. It's a really special little group. If you like the mastermind, the inner circle is kind of like, I feel like the next level of that. Just because in here there's like 170 of you, but in the inner circle there's only, like 10 people or something. So it's a lot more intimate. So that's that. I think that's all I have to tell you guys. Listen to the podcast. There was a new Breakthroughs podcast I did. And we're going to do another round of Reignite. When am I going to do that? Let me look at the calendar. Towards the end of the month. I'll have the sign up for you guys next week and we'll have all the dates. But that's going to be like a free... It's going to be free. It's going to be for the launch. But I'm telling you, if you didn't do Reignite or if you did it and you want a refresher, you should definitely do it. Like, it's worth doing. It's really, really good. And I'm going to do... they're going to get the 3 modules we did last time, which are awesome. I love those modules so much. And then I'm going to coach in there. So there'll be a whole bunch of bonus like Zoom calls you can come to. So if you want to do like extra coaching, it's all free. It's like at no charge. I would love to have you guys come. It's always really fun when we do the community events because it's just kind of like new excitement and new people. And it just like the energy kind of like, it's like a nice refresh if you're feeling like you need um, just like a kind of new, I don't know, like a new like little burst of fresh energy. So we'll have the details for that for you guys next week. I'm working on getting it on Monday. Bonus queen. That's right. I think that money mindset bonus is fire. So you guys should definitely watch that one. All right, I will talk to you guys later. 5 o'clock Eastern. I'll see you on Zoom. Okay, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.